Mark took a random sample of 60 students from a school, and for each student recorded the number of letters in their first name and the number in their last name, X and Y. Results are shown in the scatter diagram on the next page. I'll scroll down in a second. And we're asked to describe the correlation between X and Y. Now, it's somewhat all over the place, but it's not like it's no correlation. There's no points here and here. There is a general trend. If you're going to draw a line of best fit, you would draw it going that way. So they're looking for negative correlation here. Just the word negative will suffice. Mark suggests that parents with long last names tend to give their children shorter first names. Using the scatter diagram, comment on Mark's suggestion, given a reason for your answer. Remember, a negative correlation means as one increases, the other decreases. So, yeah, as what is it? As X increases, Y is decreasing overall. So this is there is evidence for this. So um, I wrote down there is evidence for this because there is negative correlation. Okay, so words to that effect. The results from Mark's random sample of 16 observations are given in the table, and we're asked to find the product moment correlation coefficients between X and Y for these data. All right, here we go then. So we need to go to menu and then statistics. You might be using a slightly different calculator than me, so you have to find your way around it, but it should be similar. And then it's not one variable here. We're actually dealing with two variables. We're going to be doing y equals a plus bx. That's like a straight line of best fit kind of situation. And then we just need to carefully enter our values. So I'm going to do this. Okay, why not have a go with me? You can probably do it quicker than me. Nine, 7, 10, 6, 6. Okay, so of course, it's a bit quicker if you've got your handheld calculator. Then we start again with y. Then 4, 5, 5, 6, 3. Yeah, after you've got that, we go to option, and then we're not doing a two variable calculation. That would actually give us the mean and the standard deviation of each group. We want to do a regression calculation. So this actually gives us the regression line if you're interested in that, but we're not here. We're interested in that value of R. So we just need to read that off. R is minus 0.54458. We have to work quite hard. It takes a bit of time to get that one mark, but it is just a case of putting in our calculator. Now we're asked to test whether or not there's evidence of a negative correlation between the number of letters in the last name and the number of letters in the first name. Remember, we're only taking a sample of 16 here. So it might have been that actually it's all over the place, there is no correlation, and we just didn't pick any of these. That's a chance when you're sampling. Or it might have been that we just happen, it could be even more of a negative correlation. We don't know. But the point is, just because we have negative correlation in our sample doesn't mean we have it in the whole population. And that's what we're doing the hypothesis test for, to see if there's enough evidence to say that there is negative correlation in the population. So H naught is going to be rho equals 0. Rho is the correlation coefficient for the whole population. We always go this as our default. And then H1 is going to be that rho is less than 0 because we're looking for it to be negative. And we've got a 5% significance level. So now we don't do any further calculations. We look up the formula book for the critical values. Now remember, we have a sample of 16. Okay, so I've just shown all the values from 4 to 16. And we've got a 5% significance level. So we're going to go down that column along that row. It's going to be here. Critical value is 0.4259. What I like to do is just draw a little number line. Also, it's not going to be 0.4259, it's going to be minus. Okay, so this caters for both plus and minus. Because we're looking to the left, it's going to be minus. Right, so I've got my critical value around about here. So then our correlation is going to be here. So the critical region is all of this, and we can see that we're in it. So I'll just write down that minus 0.545. I know I've rounded it, but it's okay. That is less than my critical value. So I'm going to reject H naught. We're in the critical region. Sufficient evidence at the 5% level that there is negative correlation in the population. If I had time, I'd probably write a few more words just to clarify that negative correlation between the number of letters in the last name and the number of letters in the first name. It just seems like quite a lot of things to write down when you want to get on with the next question. So there we go. There's our hypothesis test for correlation.